Hi, in this video I want to show you a practical solution for a problem that we usually face when we are using emulators and most frequently when you are using emulators of Genymotion. So this is an error most of us might have already faced so far, and some of us are still trying to scratch our heads how to come over the solution. So what exactly is this error saying? Install failed, no matching ABIs. When do you get this? You'll get this when you are trying to install an application that has native components or native libraries, and that your device doesn't have a native library for your CPU architecture. What the hell does all this means? Let's say that you are compiling an application for, let's say, an architecture something like ARM v7, and then you're trying to install this application that was compiled on ARM using ARM v7 onto an emulator that has some sort of different architecture, let's say some Intel architecture. Now in this case it doesn't work, and then you might get an error of this sort. And emulators like Genymotion does this, knowing that these kind of issues do occur. There are a couple of ways to get around. Now let's say that you already have access to the source code. Then all that you have to do is that in your build dot in the Gradle file that you have, the build properties file, just add a couple of lines of code. I mean, you can just quickly search that and you can find it online. What you need to add is that to say that this particular application also supports the architecture that you're trying to install your application on. Let's say in this case some x86. Now, let's say that we are downloading an application from internet. In this case, I already have downloaded something called as Book My Show. I am trying to install this. Now, let's see what happens. This is on this device. On the right hand side, you see that I already have Samsung Galaxy S7. And I have already set it up. So when I try to click on Book My Show application, it launches seamlessly. Okay, now let's see in action what happens. Okay, I have not installed this, so let me quickly try to install it. ADB devices, and I know that this is the device. Okay, so now let me say ADB-S and install. Now I have this application here, and now let me try to install it. Just give it a couple of minutes. My device is a little slow, so it will take a couple of minutes to show something called as success, and the same application should be showing in this list of apps that is on the left hand side of, yes, here you go. But when I click on this, you see that it says Google Play Services, but instead of this you might also sometimes get this install failed, no matching ABIs. But this is still a problem. And what Genymotion says, whenever you get these kind of errors saying that Google Play Services is not available, now if you go into the applications, you will see there is no app called as Play Store. Okay, and what does Genymotion say? Okay, here is what actually Genymotion says, that for intellectual property reasons, Google Play services are not included by default in Genymotion virtual device. But you can still get around with this. We'll come back to this. But before this, if you are getting an error of this kind, that is install fail no matching ABIs, which means that you have to install something called as Genymotion's ARM translation. Now this is what actually will help you overcome this particular situation. Okay, and once you have downloaded that, I have already downloaded somewhere over here. Okay, so this is where I have downloaded, and The next thing that you have to do is that once you have downloaded, you have to move this file over to this. Okay, to do that, just drag and drop it. Okay, now this has not installed, it has just successfully downloaded to here. Okay, and just say okay. Now what we need to do is that to be able to successfully flash that particular downloaded file, all that you have to do is that navigate to that. Now we know that when we say ADB devices, this is the device that I'm talking about. Okay, so let me navigate to shell. Okay, so I have moved into the shell of this particular device. Now from here what I have to do is that there is a shell program called as flash hyphen archive. When you say flash hyphen, this is the program. Now using this program or using this particular shell file, we'll try to flash this particular downloaded. Let me show you. When I say ls, inside my SD card I have something called as download. When I say that, you will be able to see that the particular file has been copied to here. Okay, so now using the flash archive, okay, using the flash archive, what we are going to do is that we have to flash that particular file. Okay, so I'll say Genymotion. Oops, sorry, it's under my SD card and download, and okay, so that is the file I'm trying to flash, which in turn means that install that. Okay, so just press enter, and all right, so it has been installed. You don't have to worry about all these files, but you can see that it has done successfully. Okay, so the first step is done. The next thing that you have to do is that you have to download let's say that some programs, especially in this case when I'm trying to launch this, it says that this particular application is dependent on some of the Play services, Google Play services. So we need to have Google Play app installed, or the Play Store app installed in our machine, or in this case in this device. Okay, so we have to download that again. It's the same process that we have done earlier. So you have to download this. Now what does Genymotion suggest is that you select something called as the nano variant. Okay, let me walk you through this. So these are the options that are available. So you have to select x86 in the case of Genymotion, and then you choose the version, the Android version that is applicable. Now here you can see that if your application version, the Android version, is less than 4.4, it doesn't work. So you need to find out some sort of workaround. And then you have different variants of the Play Store app. Now let's say if I hover on TV stock, this is related to Android TV, and this is, if I say Pico, this is a bare minimum to get started with Play Store. And Nano, you just hover on this and you'll be able to see that it gets some extra features. And if you want the complete one, then you can go for Super, or Aroma or something. Okay, in this case, for us to work on Genymotion and our particular applications that are dependent on the Play Store services, it's just enough for us to go with Nano. Okay, and just click on download, and you can see that the size of the file is also here displayed, so you can download it. I've already downloaded, so I'm not going to do that. So if I just drag and drop in this case, okay, and you can see that it will ask you, okay, this kind of pop-up. You will see that do you want to flash it to your virtual device. Please make sure that if you are trying to flash it on a physical device, it can harm. So I would seriously recommend you not to do this particular thing on your physical devices, or else you might have to take your device to the nearest service, the vendor services. Okay, so just click OK, and you can see that the flashing is in progress, that is, the installation is in progress. And once the installation is done, then the last step that we would be recommended is to reboot the machine. Okay, so let me meanwhile exit out of this. Okay, and I've cleared that. So you can see that the archive sorry, the flashing is still in progress. So we'll just wait for a couple of minutes, and meanwhile we will be ready with our reboot command. Okay, so adp devices, I'll say adb hyphen s and copy this one. Okay, we don't need to say shell. Okay, so still in progress. Once it is done, we will reboot this so that the application that we are trying to install is successfully installed. Okay, let's see that. Okay, it's taking more time than usual, but it should work. I'll try to trim this video, um, or else I'll keep it as it is so that you can see in real time what happens. Okay, so it says the G apps has been flashed successfully. Please restart the virtual device. Okay, so we'll just reboot it now. Okay, all right, now if you say adb devices, okay, it's still there, so we will just quit this. Okay, so this was the one. So if I restart this now, if I try to restart this, you should be able to see some message saying that the settings are being getting applied or something of that sort, some sort of that message. So this particular process or this particular step might take quite a bit of time depending on a lot of factors. Okay, just give it a couple more minutes. This is one time process. You don't have to do every time. So the very first time it will take quite a bit of time. Okay, you see that it says Android is starting optimizing app 1 of 16. Okay, so it will try to optimize depending upon the ARM that we have installed or flashed, and also because that we have installed or flashed the Google app, um, you know G apps, right? So it will try to apply all to all the corresponding apps. So this particular process will take anywhere between a couple of minutes to almost like 15 or 20 minutes also. For some of the devices that I have worked, it has taken even half an hour. Okay, because I had so many applications that were trying to use the G app services. Okay, so right now it is 9:26 p.m. I'll still try to keep it like this, because I want you to see in real time, how does it work. Okay, but I'll also add something in the description, till where you can skip if you really want to skip. But I really wanted to have this not trimmed because I wanted to see people what kind of problems that they might face and what kind of solutions are available if they are facing any issues. So I'll keep myself muted. All right, so it is finishing the boot up. So now you can see that it's starting the Android app. I can see how much time it has taken. So depending upon a lot of factors, how much speed of the device, your system, RAM, memory, and all those things, depending on a lot of factors, it takes quite a bit of time. So it's in the final steps. Okay. All right. So let's just move this a little bit to the left. Okay, it's absolutely fine. You can just ignore this. Let's see if this device is showing. Okay, the only thing that we are still waiting for is to show all the current apps that are present on this device. Okay, just give a couple more minutes. Meanwhile, I'll close this. Let me do one thing. Let me close this. Sometimes it hangs, because of various factors. Let me launch it again. Now if I say ADB device here, you should be able to see only one device. Okay, the second virtual device of the emulator is just starting. Okay, you see the second device which is launching is already shown here. So let's wait for a moment to show the home screen. Okay, so now let's try to launch the Book My Show app that we have installed previously. Yeah, the device is very slow, as you can see that it's trying to launch Book My Show app. Alright, so there you see. Now let me try to open in this emulator also. You should be able to see the same home page. Okay, some reason it has shown some other page. If I try to skip this, alright, looks like it has launched some other application. Just give it a moment. It's the same. For some reason it has opened some other activity. Yeah, it's very so slow. As I said, it depends on a lot of factors, your system memory, the speed, the process, and all different factors. Now let's say that no, yeah, let me kill this. Okay. Now let me try to launch it so that we know that it's the same application that we have installed on both the devices. Okay, for some reason it has skipped, maybe that I have earlier already clicked on this English language. So it's navigating some other to some other page. But I hope that you understand that we have installed on both. Let me try to close this so that we can save some memory. Okay, and this device is really fast. So now let's do one thing here. What I want to do is that I want to uninstall this app and install it again so that you really understand that whatever the couple of steps that we have followed has actually worked. It's not that I'm doing some quick and hot fix, some quick and dirty fix here. Okay, let's see if this device is still active, not able to interact. Okay. It's really slow. Let me try to close this. All right. Okay. Well, I hope now it should be a little fast. Okay, so let's try to uninstall this. Okay, now let's try to uninstall this. Just drag and drop. It will ask for a confirmation. message that if you really want to uninstall, click OK. Okay, now if I press this one, you'll see that there is um, no app. Okay, now let's say ADB devices. Okay, you can still see that there is only one device. Let's try to install this. Okay, you can drag and drop, but I also wanted to show you quickly a different way of installing. So you say adb-s. If there is only one device, you don't have to give all this -s and all. You can just say adb and install and give the path of the device, sorry, the path of the application. Okay, just press enter, and these are some sort of things. Okay, that should install. It has already copied. Okay, it has copied to this. So now let's say that let's go to adb shell and ls. Let's see what is there in temporary. See that this has been copied. So it has copied basically to your local temporary, and then it will try to install from there, and once it has installed, it will clean up. Okay, so that is how it usually installs or flashes an application onto your device. So let's give it a couple of minutes. It's all because of my machine, which is pretty slow. Hopefully this shouldn't happen on your machines or on your devices. You can just, once it has installed, you can just press that icon, and it should launch the application. But I'm going to show you a new way of launching this particular app. Okay, and I wanted to show you launching this particular Book My Show app through ADB, and that is from the command line. And for that, I'm going to take help of Appium, the GUI, so that I can find the package name and the launcher activity. Okay, so press this icon and go to click on basic. If you are already in advanced, click basic and click on app path and choose the application, that is your .apk file. Where exactly is it? Okay, and click on select Android application. If there is only one Android application, you can just select click on that select Android application and click on app package. Click on this particular down arrow, and this should be your app package. Okay, and inside your launch activity, you'll be able to see so many. Okay, so many, and you can keep trying. Sometimes a different launcher activity opens, but in this case I know that it is splash screen activity. Okay, um, and if you have access to your source code, then you can go to android manifest.xml file, and there you can find exactly what is your launcher activity. So using this particular, okay, I can do this. um, I can say adb shell, and once I am here, say you use the am utility, and then you say start -n. Okay, and here you have to provide your package, and then what is the activity that you want to launch. Okay, and make sure that it's already installed. This is not a command for installing, but this is only to launch your application. And press enter. You see that it launches the activity. I mean, in this way it is very fast. Rather than using the GUI's icon and clicking it, this way it is very fast. Okay, earlier you saw that how slow that was, when I was trying to interact with the GUI, right? The GUI icon. Okay, click on this and you press on this Book My Show. It's very slow. Okay, now let me try to exit out of this shell. These two commands I can combine it. Okay, I can say adb shell. Instead of going directly into the shell, I can directly use it from the prompt itself without going into the shell, and I can say am start -n, and I'll just copy and paste it. Okay, and you see that it has launched. So I hope that this video has worked. If it has really, if you really like this video, please click on the subscribe button, which should below this video. Or if you got any questions, you can leave in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you out. And thanks a lot for being very patient throughout the video. If you have any suggestions, please do not hesitate to put that in the comment section. Thanks again for watching the video.